Myrna Bradbury sat at her kitchen table and watched the mess of a man she had married 10 years earlier. He was busy gorging himself on the lunch she had made him. His rotund abdomen protruded as he tried to breathe and eat at the same time. The sound of his inhalations was like a hog at a feed trough. He was a hirsute man, and now and then she saw sweat drip from the bushy hair on his arms and hit his plate. His chest hair ran up the neckline of his t-shirt and curled over it like a fur collar. At times, he appeared to be wearing a goddamn sweater. She felt her swollen eye, and he groaned. "Don't bitch about it or you'll have a matching set." Bob kept his eyes on his food and snorted out a piece of snot onto his napkin. Myrna turned her head and looked away. He had once been a handsome and fit man, but he now had folds of fat contained inside a far too small t-shirt stained with perspiration, soil, and grass clippings. He had a grizzled beard and chipped teeth. His black hair was greased back from his forehead, and he had developed a bulbous red nose from the alcohol he consumed on the job or at home. She had been 10 minutes late with his lunch, and for that she had received punishment. She looked to the ceiling and thanked God that he would have to return to his job in 15 more minutes. Then she would be free to ice her swollen eye and plan her next move. Myrna was a patient woman and had given him more than one chance to change, but he never did. "I have to finish the gardens and landscaping for that new family in town. They're moving in today. I want supper ready and on the table at 6 o'clock. His beady brown eyes made their way to hers, and he grinned. "I hope you're late again." He tossed his napkin atop his empty plate, grabbed his baseball hat and keys, and left the house through the kitchen door. Myrna cleaned up his mess and went to the freezer to get some ice. She made her way to her sewing room and held the ice bag to her swollen eye as she scoured through her sewing implements. She smiled and held up a metal appliance used to darn socks. The tip of it was sufficiently sharp, and she figured with enough force, capable of rendering someone permanently blind. She had suffered through 10 years of torture by his hand, and it was time for a bit of payback. She then opened a small tin that was labeled thimbles, but contained all the cash she had managed to scrounge up over the last 5 years. There was an ample amount, and she let loose a sigh of relief. She then made her way to the medicine cabinet in the bathroom and spotted a long-forgotten sleep medication that the good doctor in town had given her. The doctor, her savior, was the only one in town who knew of her plight, or so she thought. She checked the expiration date to find it was nearing its end of life, so she'd better not let it go to waste. She slipped the medicine inside her cooking apron and went to the kitchen to prepare her husband's supper. It was one he was sure to enjoy, and in all likelihood would never forget. She would make it a memorable candlelit meal. She dug out her recipe box from the cabinet, picked out his favorite dish, and got to work.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.